So for help breaking that down and a whole lot more, we're going to welcome in Tom Savidge, economist, American Institute for Economic Research. Tom, good morning. So nice to see you. So we saw the markets really soar after President Trump's news on those EU tariffs. Futures this morning, they're holding steady. And the president saying yesterday he's pleased with the progress in those trade talks. Could yesterday's strong numbers really be a sign of things to come for the rest of the week?
Well, let's hope so. Unfortunately, the key word here with all of these tariff and trade talks has been uncertainty. Businesses aren't sure how these tariffs are going to get affected. You hear about them coming up fast. The deadline gets moved up. The deadline gets moved back. And folks are just trying to pivot in response to these policy changes. So right now, with this market rally, President Trump really has a great opportunity to reduce some of that uncertainty, solidify those trade deals, and continue, some of the other aspects of the Trump administration, like removing regulations, reducing that regulatory uncertainty, and then extending the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act as well. So make it easier for people to get back to work and make it easier for people to keep their hard-earned money. So again, reducing that uncertainty is absolutely key to this situation.
Yeah, well, some more good news from yesterday. Americans' view of the economy is actually improving in May after 5 straight months of declines. So the Consumer Confidence Index rose over 12 points this month. Also, the number of consumers that think a recession is coming has actually dropped. So, Tom, what do you tie this to, really? I mean, is it mostly just the moves on these tariffs in the past month?
I think you could see it as tariffs. You could see it in the employment numbers that come out. Ultimately, it's hopefully as things are starting to normalize, and then as legislation gets passed, it's a number of factors that get played into this. And a lot of policy uncertainty. The air is starting to clear on that. And we're starting to get some guidance and. Whether it's you like the outcomes or you don't, you at least have a solid plan to work with and understand where you need to pivot.
Well, it's not all sunshine and roses. So some not so good news when it comes to tariffs. Ross, that super discount store, it's just the latest retailer saying that they actually might need to raise their prices. So Ross has seen increased sales each month during the first quarter. Well, President Trump told Walmart to eat the tariffs. Ross's CEO says they don't want to be the first ones to raise their prices. I mean, Tom, obviously we know places like Walmart, Ross, they're known as kind of the super discount store. So them raising prices would kind of be a big deal. But how long can these businesses hold off on raising their prices? Do you think that they'll have to?
Well, ultimately, like you said, they're going to do everything they can not to raise a price because they know that'll turn customers away. So when they inevitably have to pass off some cost to the customers. It might not be on a price tag. It might be shorter business hours. It might be fewer staff available. So when you go, there's maybe 1 or 2 cash registers open and the store is just swamped. It might also mean smaller inventory as well, where they only purchase what are really the best sellers. Because they don't want to lose money on lost inventory. And they will find, whatever it is, they may find another way to pivot, but inevitably that cost is going to get passed on to the customers. Whether or not that shows up on a price tag is yet to be determined.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point that you make. So it may look differently than what you think it's going to look. Like you said, maybe you do it as staffing, inventory. Yep. But finally, let's end on kind of a fun note. So Hollywood's record-setting Memorial Day weekend showing up on Wall Street big time. So shares of movie theater chains AMC, Cinemark, Marcus all soared Tuesday. Of course, Disney's Lilo and Stitch, the live-action remake, Mission Impossible, leading the charge at the holiday box office. Tom, obviously there's some big movies still to come this summer. You've got Superman, How to Train Your Dragon, the live-action one. Just to name a few, we have a Jurassic Park one coming up. Do you think that we're going to see kind of a redo of like a Barbenheimer-type summer for movie theaters? Are people going to head back this summer?
Well, I think with the lineup that we're having there, that, like you said, that new Superman movie and all the all of these quote unquote summer blockbusters, summer is usually one of the biggest times to go to the movies, and you have some of these big hits coming out. So hopefully that means more folks get into theaters, but ultimately that comes down to Hollywood responding to what customers want. If they're not giving customers the movies they want to see, nobody's going to go to the movies.
Yep, exactly. You got to put out a good product to get people in those seats to spend, you know, the $25 per ticket. Tom Savidge, thank you so much for joining us this morning. It was really good seeing you.